It was just surprising to me that at her level of fame and power and everything else, that she would even have the headspace to think, I'm going to call this girl down and rattle her cage, you know?
Hi and welcome to Bom Talk. I'm Kjersti, Flaa, and here on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences with celebrities, with Hollywood, and working as an entertainment reporter. So in many previous episodes I've been talking about how I have to deal with difficult celebrities and situations that were kind of tricky, because sometimes we just have to walk on eggshells around these movie stars. You know, when you get into situations where people are not so forthcoming to you and you realize that celebrities are not like us. Definitely not. Today, I have a very special treat for you guys. I have a guest that is going to share some really juicy stories with you. She's a makeup artist and has her own makeup brand. Her name is Beth York, and she told me a story. I was so stunned, but at the same time, I was like, of course that happened to you. So I don't know if you saw this, but back in the day, during the Me Too, in 2015, 16, I think it was, Blake Lively came out and accused a makeup artist of harassing her because he was using his finger while he put lipstick or lip gloss on her lips. So I also wanted to ask Beth about that. Is that harassment or is that normal? So stay tuned for that. At the end of the interview, she is also sharing some of her tricks with you guys. So if you're interested in makeup, stay till the end and she will share some tricks with you and her brand and the way you can get it if you're interested in that. So yeah, please welcome Beth. Hi, Beth, and welcome
Hi.
to Flossom Talk.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I'm such a fan of your show, and
Oh,
gosh, your content has been amazing. And thank you so much for having
thank
me.
you. Yes, thank you. I mean, I haven't had a guest like you yet, and I think you're bringing things from a completely different perspective. And of course, we're not just going to talk about the Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds saga. Now we're going to
Right,
talk about other
which we're
celebrities.
obsessed with, by the way.
Yes, and your role in that, because you have worked as a makeup artist. You're still a makeup artist, but you have worked with celebrities. So how did you
Yes.
end up like working in that scene?
Well, and again, it's kind of more like the same role that you have. We're like the people behind the scenes and we're interacting with the celebrities, but we have a lot in common with the things that we see, you know, that the public generally doesn't. So I started out as a makeup artist based out of Scottsdale, Arizona, which I'm still in now, but I always wanted to do the celebrity thing. And I went over to LA in my early 20s and I got hired by Jose Abair, who had a salon on Rodeo Drive. So right out of the gate, I started working with a lot of celebrities there. And it's definitely different, is all I can say. There was a lot of fun things about it, but I decided I didn't want to live there and do that full time. So I came back to Arizona. I opened up my first day spa, but over all the years, I've still gone in and out of LA and done like Oscars, Emmys, Golden Globes. I've done all the red carpet stuff. Yeah, the behind the scenes part, it's a lot. It's
So,
funny. Go ahead.
so who was the first celebrity you put makeup on?
Gosh, that's such a hard question. Like right out of the gate, I was doing a lot of stuff, like with the gifting suites and like Paris Hilton and Desperate Housewives. And I had all of those people using my products and I got to meet them and do their makeup. And that was really fun, you know, at the time. Terry Hatcher was amazing and so sweet. And Paris Hilton was also so nice. The first event
Oh.
I had done with her, they made this big thing that we're not supposed to ask for pictures, and you know, you get all the rules of that. And the minute I met her, she was like, oh, do you want to do pictures? And she could not have been sweeter. And her mom Kathy and her sister, I worked with several times over the years. Her mom gave my products to everyone on her reality show. It's a small town. Like once you kind of connect with people, It's kind of like wildfire, but there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you just kind
Okay, so
of
we
feel
have to get into
guilty.
that. Obviously, you have to spill the tea. First,
Yeah.
you just said that there are certain rules. What are the
Yeah.
rules that they tell you before you work with a celebrity?
You
So
get
tell me about the Sharon Stone story because you mentioned that to me when we spoke earlier, that wasn't such a great experience. She has a reputation, I have to say. I've spoken to publicists about
Mhm.
her, and they were like, she said to me, Sharon Stone, she's always really nice to journalists, but not so much to others around her. And I
Yeah.
guess you can kind of confirm that, or
Yeah, well, because I had started out, I was already doing makeup, but I also was doing some acting and modeling, and I had an agent, and I was in a handful of little teeny movie things, and I had done an audition to be in a movie. It was The Quick and the Dead, and it was a flashback scene where you had to look somewhat like Sharon Stone because you're playing her mother in a flashback scene when she's like 8 years old. And so they ended up cutting the scene from the movie, but they asked me if I would want to do like stand-in and doubling for her. And it was Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe and Gene Hackman, who was amazing, so nice, by the way. And they asked me if I wanted to do that, and I thought, well, I thought it would be fun, just for the experience of being on the set. So I agreed to do it. And so first they called and they warned me about working with Sharon. And I was just so
what did
afraid. I
they
was like,
say?
what do you mean? And so they were just like, well, we just have to let you know, like, she can be difficult. And so I just didn't know what to do with that warning. I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
oh my
That's
God. So I was so nervous. So the first day I went on this, oh no, then I had to meet her and have lunch with her or something. It was like trying to remember where that even was, but I had to meet her one on one because she wanted to meet me in person. So we had a little lunch, whatever it was, and she asked me a lot of questions, and it was just funny the questions that she asked me, like what did my dad do for a living? And
what does
I
that
don't know,
have
it
to
was
do
just
with
kind of
it?
bizarre, like, and I lived in Carefree, Arizona at the time, which she said, there's really a place called Carefree. And I said, yeah, we have streets like Ho Hum Drive and Nonchalant Lane. And she was like, why? And I was like, oh my God. So, but anyway, so then the first day that I had to go on the set, I went down and they like outfitted me in whatever Western gear, that she was wearing for the scene. And they came to me and said, Sharon wants to meet. I mean, it was like the second day. Sharon wants to meet you at her trailer. And I was like, oh my God, no. And I said, I've already met her. Like, I didn't want to go meet her again. So they're like, no, you have to come meet her again. And I was like, oh my God. So her trailer was like out in the middle of the desert. And this guy, the PA guy, walks me to the trailer, and she's sitting outside, like in a lounge chair or something with her sunglasses on. And we get like a few steps away from her, and the PA guy goes like this to me, like, stop walking, And so I'm waiting. And so basically she like nods. And so she starts rattling off all these technical terms. And she's like, so have you been briefed on what you're supposed to do? And I said, yeah, pretty much, and I couldn't tell you what she said, but she rambled off all these really technical terms. Like, you need to know what lighting, blah, blah, blah. Like, she rambled off all this super technical stuff. And then she goes, got it? And when she finished, and I go, yeah, I got it. And so I just turned around and left, and I went back on the set. And so basically they would use me. Another funny story is they were like shooting the poster for the movie, and these photographers flew out to take the movie poster, and they were big time photographers that shoot like, Tom Cruise and whatever. But she made them wait like a week to take the photo. And they used me to just like set everything up with the lighting. Unlike my place, I don't know if
So
you
they
do
would set it up like
face
for a
lighting or
week?
something. What's that?
So they would set it up for like a week and just keep the set
So yeah,
until
so
she
they
felt like it was
set it
okay.
all up, but then they waited around for like a week for her to actually go and do the photo. And then they would have scenes where they were like, building the floor and all this stuff. It was really fun, to see it. But after a few days, I was like, when are they going to tell me like all the things that she had rattled off? And the producers, they called me like young lady was my name. And they're like, young lady. And so I was like just so worried at any point she was going to be asking me all those things that she said I had to know. So finally I asked one of the producers, and these were big time people, it's like, excuse me, like at what point am I going to know which camera lenses you're using? And they were like, what? And I said, yeah, Sharon told me I would need to know all this. And they go, oh, she's pulling your leg. And I was like, wow. So literally, she summoned me to her trailer just to get me worked up and insecure. And I was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that was interesting. And she was nice on the last day because I just wanted a picture with her, like for the experience. And I'm like, do I even have it here? I pulled it out. I was going to show it, but I could email it to you. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
I was like, I said to one of the producers, like, I kind of wanted to get a picture, but I'm afraid. And he was like, no, you're doing it. Come on, and he took me over.
You
She was
deserve
sweet
it.
and nice. Yeah, I got the photo. Yeah, that was interesting.
Oh my God, what a horrific experience.
It was just odd to me because
And
in my
how many years
mind,
ago is this?
what's that?
When was this? What year was
This was
this?
The Quick and the Dead. And literally, gosh, I don't know what year it was shot in, but this was probably 20 years ago now.
So she
Yeah.
was like on the high of her
Yeah,
career at that
this was
time.
after Basic Instinct. And, I forget, she was going through that whole scandal where she like FedExed the ring back to the guy that was all over her engagement ring. I don't know. But,
Oh my
it's,
God.
it's a fine line. Like you don't want to just badmouth people, but it's kind of like what you did. And like I appreciate like how you were the whistleblower with the Golden Globes because most people don't speak up. And granted, we know what we're getting into when we get into that world or dip our toe in that world. But in my mind, I was like, if you can't be real when you're on a movie set, or say like if it's Blake Lively, like if you can't let your guard down there when you're surrounded by people that you're doing your craft, like you should be able to be real. And if you're acting like that in that position, and she was a producer on the film, and she was just surrounded by all these businessmen, and she's very powerful, and like sitting and listening to her lunches and stuff, it was just surprising to me that at her level of fame and power and everything else, that she would even have the headspace to think, I'm gonna call this girl down and rattle her cage, just
Young
bizarre.
girl. No, young woman. What was that? Young woman?
Young lady,
Young lady. Sorry, young lady.
lady.
Oh my God. I
I
can't
know I
believe
didn't
I
have a
just saw.
name. I wasn't important
We're
enough to have
just
a name. Just
young
young
lady.
lady. But this is when I decided, not after that, but I just was like, I don't want to line up behind 100 other women and trying to tooth and nail yourself into like these scenarios. And I always loved makeup and I was already doing it. And so I chose to go down the path of my makeup career because it's something I could have control over. And I'm more comfortable behind the scenes. And I like making people feel good about themselves. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but I've worked on thousands of women, and everyone tells me the same thing. And I feel like, with just some little tweaks, to your skincare, your makeup, it could make, or your hair, which, it could make such a difference in just how you feel. And it's instant gratification too,
Yeah. And when
so
people appreciate it, like most normal people do.
yeah,
But if you're a celebrity, you might not get there. So I wanted
yeah,
to ask you because as we've been talking about Blake Lively so much
yeah.
lately, I saw there was an article back during the Me Too thing when that
Mhm.
happened. So she came out and said that she felt harassed or it was
Right.
inappropriate behavior from a makeup artist who
Yeah.
he used his finger to put on lipstick or whatever. I mean, as a makeup artist, what do you take from that? What is that?
You know, what I'm going to take from that is I have worked on thousands of women. I'm an esthetician also and a makeup artist. Obviously, I sterilize. I have disposable lip brushes, disposable mascara brushes. I've never once had any woman ever have an issue or a problem. And I just think it's, in a way, it's another way that they just try to act superior. I don't know. I don't usually use my finger, but if I had to, I would. I wouldn't hesitate. You know, it's like I don't understand that. I think it's really extreme. There are people maybe that have had a bad experience that are going to be more hypersensitive, but you know, it's I just so I get right in there. I do my thing. You know, I have my levels of sanitation, which, like I've said, I've never had one issue or one problem ever. But I've also noticed when I do go into LA, like it is a heightened level of with the what is it called?
Yeah, the rules basically. Yeah, like what you're
Rules.
supposed to.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
everything's
yeah.
just like,
Don't
whoa,
look at her. Don't
be
touch
so
her.
careful.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I feel like we have to walk a lot on eggshells around
yeah.
these people, and I feel like we are kind of in the same situation. Me as a
Mhm.
journalist meeting them, and you as a makeup artist, but you are more intimate
Yeah.
with them. So you get up much closer. Have you, because there was a makeup artist or a hairdresser actually who was talking about this a while ago. He went on Daily Mail to talk about his experience with Anne Hathaway
Oh,
and Blake Lively and
yeah.
and how he felt that he was just invisible. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, right. I remember hearing you say, yes,
yeah.
he's treated horribly. Yeah, I
Do
can
people
say
talk to you? Like, do they have small talk with you when or are most people just like completely?
it's funny. I did the one woman from The Sopranos, I remember, and it was in New York, and she could not have been nicer. I think I even have that clip on my YouTube. Some do, you know, it's just, I guess it's kind of like people, you know, some are so nice. I found in general, usually when you make people look good, you know, no matter how much they decide they're not going to like you know, once you do your thing, then they love you. They go from like you're indifferent to loving them. You know, that whole on set thing, it's really tough. You know, those long hour days. You know, I've worked on lots of shoots and sets where, you know, I feel like the actors, actresses, you know, they're not like regular people. You know, maybe they just get detached and hardened because they really don't like what they do. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so now you have to share some of your secret tricks, like celebrity tricks, so we can all look like celebrities.
So,
Give
well,
it
the
to
number
us.
one thing we were talking about my beauty ammo kit, which comes in this cute little leopard pouch. I can't see what you're looking at. And again, I apologize for the lighting we talked about sooner. Is it getting any better? I had it all set up and
Well, you
will
look
change.
beautiful, which is the most important thing. And we have Elvis in the background. I
I know,
like,
as long as
yeah,
I look good and
Elvis is
this
there.
looks
Yeah.
all right. But anyways, so the biggest problem I see with everyone, okay, obviously under eyes are a huge issue. And when I had my spas, every woman would walk in and their concealer powder foundation would be creasing, caking, and you would see every little line. So it's the problem is usually makeup, all makeup makes your skin look older. And so people either choose not to wear any, or if they're choosing things, it's very aging. So even in my very early 20s, I just felt like, what is the point of doing makeup if it just makes your skin look horrible? So I was always about solving that problem. So my beauty ammo, it's an actual leave-on collagen eye mask. So most eye creams just absorb and disappear. This is a mask that stays on your face all day. And right over top, I have another product I created. It's called Line Putty. It's like spackle. And I laugh because you can kind of see it's like
Oh,
putty.
wow. Yeah.
So I'm always spackling up all the celebs when I like that day with I told you the 27 celebrities. It's just to prime them before the makeup gets done. So I layer those two, press it all in with the sponge. And what it does is it just builds up every little fine line. And even if you're young and you only have a couple, now you can use more concealer, get better coverage, and not worry about it creasing and caking. And on sets, they're constantly touching up powder, 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 powder. And even somebody, 20 could look 40 by the end of the day because
You have
it's
so
just
many layers. Yeah.
worse. So that's my number one thing is I always solve that problem so people can get the coverage they need, but have a really hydrated finish. And then another quick thing I'll share, my paint by number eyeshadow kit. I used to have to draw this eye every time I did someone's makeup. I would draw this diagram. I drew it thousands of times. But anyways, for HSN, they wanted me to create something that was a kit. And so I finally got to stop drawing it and just built it into the packaging. But every single woman says, I don't know how to do my eyes. And so basically I numbered the shadows 1, 2, 3. The brushes are numbered 1, 2, 3. So number one brush, number one shadow, base, crease, liner, teaches you how to do your eyes. Navy, I love for liner. I use this for liner instead of brown or black. And then the last thing I'll say is I'm always de-oranging people, which I feel like every single person that gets in my chair, everything is orange. Their foundation is orange. And I call this kind of the Kardashian effect. I feel like, everyone just spray paints on the Kardashian face. And this has been going on for probably 10 years or more now. But you go to a lot of the counters, Mac or, wherever, and all the girls look like that. And then that's what they do. Yellow on yellow on yellow on yellow. I don't do that. So when I see people, usually I fix their foundation first, which their foundation is too yellow based. And even if they are yellow, I still like to add a tiny bit of pink just to cut the yellow and keep them from looking sallow. So I fix that first. Usually they're powder orange, 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 because it's too yellow. So like a clean beige or a bronzer, very big brush, do it very lightly. And then I have some key things that I do where I just lightly add in. When I say pink, I don't mean pink. I mean like a wine color, a raspberry, by balancing out some pink. It's just way more flattering. So when people sit down and I de-orange them, I de-orange their brows. Their blonde brows are orange. Usually they have some form of an orange lip on. I de-orange everything. And instantly they look in the mirror and they're like, oh my God, this is so much better. And they buy everything. So my whole process is about de-oranging.
Now I'm looking at myself. I'm like, am I orange? Maybe a little
You
bit.
always look great. You always look great. Great, 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 great. You do. And I'm like, I'm excited to do though, if we do our video, because I'm
Yes.
just
Yeah,
super
we should
subtle.
do. I would love for you to do my makeup one day and do a tutorial for people.
Yeah.
That would be so interesting.
And I always like to say, sometimes the littlest tweak in a color, whether it's eyeshadow, lips, the littlest tweak can be the difference between amazing and disaster. So it's a very fine line. So I just go in with like my teeny tweaks, and yeah, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for doing it. So tell everyone where they can find your products and where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, well, my Instagram is mbyork.beauty and my website is mbyork.com. And I am going to go in and put my beauty ammo kit on sale for you guys. It's
Oh, nice.
110 right now, but I'm going to put it on for 95, which is my old price. Collagen mask is normally 45, line putty filler 45, and my color adjusting concealer, amazing. People rebuy 2 at a time. It's normally 34, so 95 for all 3. And there's like a video and there's a little instruction sheet because everyone's like, oh, how am I going to do this myself? So I'm all about the follow.
Perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. I will leave a link in description so people can find you there as well. So
Amazing. Thank you so much. This was
thank
amazing.
you.
I can't
Yes,
wait.
I look forward to
First.
meeting you in person one day, and then you can
Yeah.
tell me some more tricks. I really
Yes.
appreciate you're telling us your stories too. I mean, yeah, celebrities,
Fun.
yeah, they never stop to shock me.
I know, right? Well, you
Yeah.
probably have way more than I do. So I've kept kind of a long leg. out of LA, but I mean, it's fun to go do it. And there's always people that are great, obviously.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
it's
There
definitely,
are nice people out there still, even
yes.
in Hollywood.
Well, and you're making sure they're nice. Like I love your whistleblowing mission. It's
Thank you so much to Mary Beth for sharing her tips and for sharing her nightmare story with us. I really appreciate her openness, and I can't wait for her to do makeup on me. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and thank you so much for your engagements and for supporting my channel. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if there's any guests you want me to have on, please send me an email or a DM, and I will definitely have a look. And if there's anything else you want me to talk about, any new conspiracy theories in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni saga, I'm all ears. And yeah, be nice to each other, be polite, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.